They pick it for you.
Do you ever get to like see a little bit of the countries?
A little bit, yes. Usually we weren't there very long, maybe a couple of days at the most. In some cases, like I said, when I was in the Merchant Marine, we were there for upwards of 2 or 3 months sometimes, if we were doing a refit, which is fixing the ship and making modifications. All the way in the back.
Have you only been on one submarine or more?
Well, I was only underway on one. When I finished up, when we took my submarine to the shipyard, I went over to another one briefly that was in the shipyard before I got out, but for the most part, I was on the Grant.
What do you think was the hardest part of submarine training?
The hardest part of submarine training, let's see, probably 150-foot ascent underwater. You had to learn how to breathe properly so that your lungs didn't collapse and you didn't get the bends. And they would stick you in the bottom of a tank and you'd have to go about 150 feet up to the surface and survive. And if you survive, then you get to go on submarines. That was one of the qualifications.
You survived? They could just let you die?
Well, they trained you properly so that didn't happen. And they had rescuers stationed by too if you got in trouble.
That was so very scary.
How much oxygen did the submarine hold?
We made our own oxygen. We had a central atmosphere monitoring system and we had what's called CO2 burners and scrubbers. What we would do, we would make our own oxygen by the process of electrolysis. We would take on seawater and then we use electricity to split the water molecule. The hydrogen would be discharged overboard and the oxygen molecule would go to the O2 banks. And then we would make our own nitrogen-oxygen mix so that we could breathe and sustain our atmosphere.
Did you make your own water?
We did. We did. Desalination plant. We did. We made our own fresh water out of seawater too.
Did you ever get attacked? Or
No, but we played cat and mouse with Russian submarines quite often, which could get a bit tense and a bit scary. We never got attacked, except by Greenpeace.
kind of like when you're on a submarine and you have nothing to do, would like besides like movies and card games, what would you do?
Read. A lot of reading. That's about it. Or you could go down and we used to have a little gym set up between the missile tubes down in the low level missile compartment. You could either run your own modified track around the tubes or you could lift weights and do other exercises.
Was it hard when you first got to control the submarine? Was it hard from all the buttons and tricks?
Yeah, you got to learn them all. That's one other thing you have to do. You got to qualify submarines in order to stay on board. If you don't qualify, they send you up to the surface fleet. Qualifying is very hard. You have to know every single system on board that ship for damage control reasons. If there's a fire or flooding or if you get attacked, you need to be able to shut down that affected system. So basically you got to know everybody else's job too. That's how you qualify submarines.
I have 2 questions. Oh shoot, I just forgot them. Oh dang it.
You'll remember it. We'll get back to you.
Someone asked what was the hardest part of it? What was the easiest part?
Going home. Actually, the one of the nicest things, part of my job as a quartermaster is when we surfaced at the end of the patrol, I got to be the one that would go up and rig the sail. So I'd be one of the first ones to see daylight. And we would always surf, well, it wasn't daylight because we would always surface at night. But out in the middle of the ocean, when you surface at night, you have all those beautiful stars out there. It's a sight to see after not seeing anything for a few months. It also takes a little while for your vision to come back too, because when you're looking at things up close for that long, you can't see things far off in the distance for quite a few hours after you finally get up above to see things. So that was one of the easiest parts, was finishing up a patrol.
Would anybody would people do pranks?
Oh yeah, we do pranks all the time.
What happened if you got caught? What would happen to that?
We usually got a blanket party.
A what? A blanket party.
Blanket?
You'll find out what that is later on.
Last couple questions. So Jesse, I saw Lauren's hand up. And
Yep, Jess?
So have there ever been any sea creatures that have been curious or caused damage to the submarine?
None that have caused damage, but I used to listen on what was called the BQR-15 when I'd be on watch late at night. the whales would swim alongside us and talk to one another. I used to listen to the whales talking to each other. And you could listen to schools of shrimp going by. You guys ever had Rice Krispies? You pour your milk in the Rice Krispies? That's what a school of shrimp sounds like.
Do you ever see manatees?
Oh yeah, I saw manatees all the time. We pulled into Florida with the submarine one time. I forget why, but there were lots of manatees. Lauren?
How recently were you?
Oh, let's see, over 20 years ago now. So it's been some time.
23.
Let's give Mr. Gillingham.
Thank you.